State your name and where are we?
MC Pump, aka Pump Action. We chilling in the lab, kicking it in the studio, holding it down. D&E. Music is my life, like a lot of people say. I guess it's helped me through life a lot. I wasn't able to listen to the music that I listen to now, or a lot of different stuff. When I was young, mostly reggae, gospel, barely reggae, mostly church stuff, things like that. But playing instruments and things, played about 3 or 4 different instruments as well. So big time music guy. So, but as far as like recording music, oh man, I've been recording, I'd say probably since the early 90s. And really just took off early, through high school, and performed a lot. I guess our first show was probably about 30,000, one of the lowrider car shows out in Dallas, Texas.
So you say you play instruments. What kind of instruments do you play?
Wind instruments, they call them soul instruments, I guess. The flute, the trombone, a little bit of keyboard, stuff like that. So, I think I'm probably the one that probably inspired the family to go to church.
Okay. So you had to be the head of the family?
No, I just was that bad.
Okay.
So yeah, I had to go to, I ended up going to a private school for a little while. And, my granddad, he would take me to church here and there. He was Baptist and stuff like that. But I ended up going to church through the school that I went to. It was a private school. And, after a while, you just kind of see a lot of things, and you don't agree with what's going on, and you just kind of just tune out. And I did that and just kind of went the other way. I think it would probably be just peers, early days in California, uncles and things like that would come through. We lived in different cities, I was LA, Sacramento, they were in San Fran, and they'd come and talk about all the different people there that's rapping and try to rap with me and stuff, teach me how to rap. But where I was from, it was like a lot of people were getting beat up for stuff they were saying, freestyles and rapping. So I knew that if you were going to do it, you better know what you were talking about. So that was probably the first inspiration. And then you'd get more with like Run DMC, Rakim, and all the Bay Area and California people as well, as the South.
Little influence from the East Coast.
From the industries most of the time, yeah.
Mainly the West, obviously.
Yeah.
The Bay. So
yeah, since I was in Cali at that time, it was like multifaceted, it was breakdancing and rapping and graffiti and all of those tied together. So it was more of a cultural thing, even though you'd be in a different city like LA or Sacramento or San Fran, it was just different styles. Oh yeah. People would live right across the apartments from us, break out a piece of cardboard and go to town. I tried, I think that was my first experience trying it, was because he had hot sisters. So I wanted to try to talk to his sisters, It just wasn't working screen to screen, whistling from the windows. Hey. I've always been more of what they would probably call a shy guy. I went to a lot of schools, or I traveled a lot, so really wasn't about standing up in front of crowds and speaking. I usually was forced into a lot of those situations, and so being around my peers and then always being put on the spot, probably one of the first big shows, like I said, is the one in Dallas, the Lowrider Car Show, with Kid Frost and a bunch of other artists. Was one of the first ones where you really think about the things that you wrote in high school, because I think we were like 17 or something like that. And it was, you think about the things you wrote, and if you're really as good as you think you are, or if it's all just hype. And then plus you have so many people, and we thought we were going to be first, and so we thought we'd get a little crowd, but it wasn't like that. It was everyone else was going, and everyone else was going, and everyone else was going. And so we thought, okay, well, we drove out here for nothing. We had a friend, his name was DJ Fame. And we drove out there because he had called us and said, yeah, man, you guys come out and perform. And we waited and waited and waited. And sure enough, we didn't get to perform. Kid Frost went on. And right before the first song was when they called us up to perform. So it was pretty nerve-wracking because we didn't think we were going to perform. And then here you are performing with the headliner. So that was pretty cool because it was the response of the crowd was what you would expect. I think you just say, well, sheesh, that was close, or it's an unbelievable feeling. I guess you feel really light, you know, you just kind of, you absorb it and you just say, well, this could be it, but you know, where I was from, you have to have more than just that. There's levels and there's more elements to it than just being able to go there and to perform. But I knew that I probably could get serious about it and it could be a possibility. It was definitely close. Rob Dog was a neighbor on a very busy street. A lot of lowriders, a lot of gangs, a lot of different stuff, you know, a lot of hustlers, a lot of just different stuff. But right downtown, before, I guess there were really areas to hang out like that. It was one of the strips. And Rob just happened to live next door to family friends that I went to pretty much every day and hung out. And that's what we did in the basement. And come to find out, Rob and his friends were doing the same thing next door and pretty much did the same things that we did was probably the tying bind, you know. But I think we didn't really probably know that Rob Dog had done it, and he probably had just moved there when we didn't notice, because he usually had pit bulls in the front yard. So it's not like you're just gonna go walk up to the door and say, hey, we're your neighbors, you want to share this real quick, you know, you do music, you know. I think it was just the lifestyle, you know, with a lot of things, it's the lifestyle that connects you and ties you in together. So, you know, the cars with the rims, the association with the music and the you know, the dogs, and just all the elements of it, you know, that comes with the culture, just kind of made it to where it was inevitable. I mean, time makes it to where you're right next door, so it's kind of inevitable. Well, geez, I don't know, you know, mostly what I'm known for is, you know, doing things with X Games, the Do Tour, and, you know, nationals and snowboard. In case people don't know what action sports or extreme sports is, it's like pro snowboarding and ski and skate and all that bunch of stuff, hosting and announcing. I mean, most people probably know me from the X Games and Winter Do Tour and announcing with Red Bull and all these other different events. So some people know that I did music and performed and did a lot of shows with people like, you know, RZA, Jizza, Capadonna, Slick Rick, De La Soul, Diggable Planets, Digital Underground. I don't know, man. You name it. People Under the Stairs. I don't know. Pete Rock, CL Smooth. Marley's, the Wailers. I mean, it just goes and goes. And then most, like I said, you know, extreme sports. So people associate me a lot with the X Games and Shaun White and, you know, the Friends crew and, you know, all that bunch of stuff, all those wild people. But yeah, so, you know, I've been inspired through a lot of things. You know, I'd say I was blessed because I've been able to tie in with so many people, you know, and been able to siphon from their energy and their creativity and, you know, elevate my game or be a part of a lot of different creative collabs. So working with Diz White's, you know, the only reason that I'll probably be doing music, because I hadn't done music for a while because of the other ventures. But I think it would be good closure and a good thing to give back to the culture and to the community. I mean, as far as representing Colorado, I've done that in a lot of ways, from the Aurora to Breckenridge to Aspen to the Springs, to Fort Collins, to wherever you've been or you think you've been. I've probably already been there and put a stamp. So look for an MC Pump sticker. Sheesh, I kind of stepped back from doing a lot of different events and things like that. So I don't do the X Games anymore. I don't do the Dew Tour anymore. I do USASA Nationals. So I still work with the athletes that become the athletes that you see in the Olympics now. But other than that, I just kind of try to keep back, and maybe I'll try to kick something out with worldrhino@gmail.com. Maybe we'll do some more creative efforts and things like that, since I do a lot in the community and work with a lot of, mental health and homeless and, cancer, stuff like that, like St. Jude. So it's hard to try to focus on doing other things as well. But it's always cool when, people reach out and it's the right project. I'm always down. So
If somebody
holla. Yeah, you could reach me at the same email, but yeah. And then we'll refer you to the right resources, so you'll be able to hopefully get the help you need. But a lot of the things, like I said, it's just a transformation in life. You change, you grow. And when you reach it, you get to that point that you believe is the top or others say is the top, things may change in your life. So it takes on a different look. So you never stop creating or you never stop doing things, but, it just changes. And so this is just a part of the change.
Instagram?
My handle is MC Pump on everything. You can put a dot or a dash between it if someone's probably done something to it. But I usually go with World Rhino group@gmail.com, or anything that I'm going to do is usually going to be a World Rhino group production until now. So done a lot of collabs before, like with the Mile High Beat Club. We had Swole Nose, and we had all these different productions. So yeah, that'd be the best bet and the best way to reach out.
I truly appreciate the time you took. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, man, it's nothing but love. We got a lot of different creative projects to do, and I'm just blessed and thankful that God brought us all together and brought us to this time to give back to the community and to influence those out there that really want to be a part of this.
Perfect. Thank you so much.